I can almost hear his heart beat faster. He looks at me the same way he did when we first met. For him, it's love at first sight every day. For me, it's heartbreaking.
Loving someone who's living with dementia is not easy. For support, advice, or to make a donation, visit dementiasa.org.
You're listening to Vuga Online.
You are rocking with the best.
Welcome back, and thank you for spending your Sunday morning with none other than Makawe Goodwill Katide. And today I'm chilling with Just Melo. Just Melo. I love that. Anyway, Sis Melo, please tell our Vuga Online radio listeners who is Melo or Melo. I'm just Melo. Because I can't say the other while.
It's going to take a little while, I see, for you to get the hang of Just Melo. But, Melo is a musician. She's a radio host and producer at Radio Bop. She's an actor. She's an MC. She's a philanthropist. She's a motivational speaker. She's an author. And she is a mother.
What have you authored?
I am authoring.
Oh, you are like me. You are these half-baked authors.
Hey, please. Listen, if you're going to call yourself half-baked, please, ungangifaki. I am an author. Okay, I'm speaking it into existence. My book is done. It's just a matter of getting it out there and publishing it. So I'm not half-baked, please.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, so I want to. I know I met you at church, right? A few years ago, and you were singing there. I'm like, oh, this lady's anointed, and everyone was lifting their hands in the spirit and whatnot. But years later, I'm like, I don't believe in that anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, no. So I have personally gone through an evolution from being a participant in Christianity. I want to live it, you understand? And one of the things I've always asked myself is, so when a gospel musician or when a musician at church stands there in front of the church and then sings and people start crying, is that connected to some form of spirituality, or people are crying because the musician is so talented and they sing so well? So I started asking myself those questions. Luckily I interview a lot of people, and one of them is Sabata Maswag. So Sabata told me, boss, most of us people who sing Christian music, we drink and we live immoral lives. I was like, what can you say, Just Melo, on that point?
Well, firstly, you've raised a whole lot of points, and the first one that I need to clarify is, are we talking about gospel music, or are we talking about music as a whole and the link between music and spirituality? Because if we're focusing on gospel, that's a different topic. But if we're talking about music overall, that's also just another topic. Because for me, I don't want to only comment on the gospel part of it, but on music as a whole, the gift of music that's been given to us as human beings, which I believe connects highly with our spirituality, because we are spiritual beings. That's why there's a song for every occasion. I mean, you can have an out-of-body experience only go groove at 3 a.m. go dlala house music deep and
Amen.
It just takes you somewhere else, and
Amen.
It carries you to this place that you can't even explain and express yourself. That's just the power of music. Like, that is why people always are talking about how they're talking about cults when it comes to music because of the fact that music is so powerful, and it is kind of like you're under a spell. Because have you seen how you have a favorite artist and you follow this person everywhere they go? You're just waiting to see what's going to come out of their mouth. What are they going to release next? That's just how powerful music is. And now you were talking about church and worship. Now that's another part on its own, because music connects us to the higher being, to the Almighty, to God, and when we worship in particular, we are even closer to Him, right? Because that's our way of expressing how we're feeling in that moment. Either you want to repent, either you want to tell Him how amazing He is, either you want to thank Him, you want to ask for something, you want to just pour out your heart is broken, you want healing. So worship is, it heals, it's therapeutic, it brings you closer to God. And now when you're talking about gospel musicians and drinking, that's another topic on its own, because now you want us to answer whether Christians, or rather whether gospel musicians are Christians, and we can't answer that for all gospel musicians.
I said the majority. Okay, now. No, but Mamela, now Oswaka, I do tipple. I do, you've seen me. I do have a drink once in a while. I don't believe in this gospel that we should not drink. But central to the teachings of Christianity in modern day South Africa is that thou shalt not drink. But these guys, they go drink, stand there with a massive hangover, and lead people into worship. And my question is it because they're talented, or there's a spirituality element to it? There's a spiritual connection? What do you think there is? Because, I can't say for definite that there is a connection. Or maybe we're just we're just sinners that anything would make us do whatever.
Listen, I'm not sure what your question is exactly. I cannot answer.
Not a question. I'm just adding to
your question.
Yeah. No, because okay, like in your example, right? I went to one of your concerts, right? And it was a beautiful affair, But then, knowing you from a church background, you started singing Kabadimo.
Badimo? No, I didn't.
No, I've got it on record.
What? What did I sing Kabadimo? I will never. What was I singing Kabadimo? No. I did not sing Kabadimo. No.
But it may be how hopeful.
No, I know all my songs. Come on.
Were you not ad-lipping when you were singing? I give thanks. Da 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 da. How does the song go? Yeah, somewhere there. You threw in the Badimu thing.
No.
Or you wanted to say Mudimu.
No, honey, I never threw in Badimo anywhere. That's a no. I don't write.
Okay. No, in any case, do you believe in Badimo?
You know what? I'd like to say that I'm not informed enough to answer. Because basically, growing up in a Christian home, I was not exposed to Badimo or Badimo teachings. I was born in a Christian home. My parents were pastors. And when I became older, I believed that, yes, at times I can have a conversation with my grandmother, because that is really the closest person in my life who's passed. And I will not pray to my grandmother. I don't believe that my grandmother is able to speak on my behalf to God. I feel that I have that access to him directly. I don't need anyone to speak on my behalf who is flesh, such as myself. But I do believe at times that she's an angel that is here watching over me, and that I can just have conversations, tell her how much I miss her, and feel her presence at times when I'm sad or when I'm celebrating. So I'm not informed enough to know exactly what people believe when it comes to Badimu, going to their grave and praying and asking for this and that. I don't have enough knowledge on the practices around Badimu, but as mentioned, I only have one close person to me that I might at times like to communicate with and feel her presence near, and that's about as much as I can say on the topic.
Okay, fantastic. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll chat some more with Just Melo, aka Melo. See you after the break.
Hi there, this is Samohanguna. Catch me every day just after 3 p.m. for Vuka Sports Hour, where we speak everything sports only on vukaonlineradio.co.za. See you there. Please see you there.
You're listening to Vuga Online.
You are rocking with the best.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us, as always, on VUCA Online Radio. I'm your host, Makal Katide, and today we're spending our Sunday morning with Just Melo. So, Sis Melo, I heard what you said before the break, and it's okay. Now, in terms of what's happening, so the national narrative, and I'm glad that you do a lot of philanthropy work, you do a lot of community work, you're on radio and whatnot. Now, there is a seismic shift or a movement that's emerging of African ideologies and Africanism and African spirituality. So the emphasis is moving from this colonialized version of Christianity to one that is based on self-identity. And, in some cases, people believe that for you to worship a higher being, as an African, you have to consult Hubadimu, you have to speak to, mediums, unveil. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on this, the emergence of African spirituality?
You know what I think? I think as people, well, I'm black, so I'll say as black people, we, firstly, let's talk about Christianity. So Christianity is based on faith, right? So it means Christianity is based on things that we cannot see, right? And as humans in general, we love to see. Doubting Thomas. We want to touch the hand and put our finger through those holes. We want to hold on to something, and that strengthens our belief, our faith, right? Which is why these churches grow so much, that give you something to hold on to. Buy this, pour this there, drink this, tasa this. Those kind of Christian, in inverted commas, churches thrive because people want something to hold on to, right? So I don't have much knowledge on the African spiritualism and all of that, but I do know that it's based a lot on eating, touching, buffering, tassering this, drink this, you understand? Which makes it easier to believe and have faith in that kind of a system that shows you something. Switch on this color candle and then this one at this time. Drink this water and then pour it there, and then look into this glass, and then you understand. So there's instructions, do this, do that. Whereas with faith, it's like, oh my goodness, okay, so I just prayed. Is that it? Did something happen? There's like Christianity has a lot more to do with the revelation, and which come the more obviously you grow in your Christianity, right? But at the beginning, it's just difficult in J to just be. It's like you're just trying to grasp in the air for something that you can't see or touch, So it becomes more difficult for people to believe that this really, really exists. Show me something, give me something. I remember growing up, my mother always used to say, people are believing in something. When you just leave the house just in JJ. You don't have a covering, you're not protected from anything. People want to succeed. People want their children to succeed, and they'll do anything for that. And so that's how related different things, that they believe are going to make them smarter, more powerful, whatever the case is. I mean, there's the snake. People are saying they have snakes that give them money. Like people are holding on to things and that they believe are going to make them more powerful, more richer, going to give them healing. The way when, you go and drink medicine, you kind of believe that medicine is going to get better. As to, is it really making you get better, or is it your faith and belief that you're getting better? I can't say. But for me, I just feel like as humans, as Black people, we really just want something to touch in order to believe. And that's why it makes it so much easier when you are given things, wear this, tasa that, eat that, at 12 do that. So many instructions like in the Old Testament, right? It's so much
Let me shock you.
easier.
Let me shock you. So it's been stated, or it's been said, that over 70% of Christians consult izangoma, consult dingaka, consult our prophet. So my question is, if 70% of us are consulting anyway, why can't we just accept that we are part of the system and stop being dismissive when me and you speak on radio, but then tomorrow who kokos banyoni, will give me a portion for my good luck for my radio show. You understand?
But that's what I'm saying.
That's
exactly what I'm saying. It's difficult. It's difficult to admit it. It's difficult. I mean, I've heard that there are pastors, a lot of pastors, who tell you that it's wrong, but they are still doing it behind your back, because it's so difficult for people to just believe in God and Christianity. You know, there's a bit of doubt because there's nothing that you can cling on to and hold on to to strengthen your faith. It's harder. It's easier for me in my books. It's easier for me to go and get something from somebody, and pay something to put under my pillow, under my bed, wherever, hang in my house, give me instructions, do this, in 2 weeks, this. It's easier than to just be praying indefinitely, not knowing when is my time coming, when is my breakthrough going to come, when is my healing going to come, and just having the faith in the blind faith in God that you can't see. It's easier to trust in my grandmother because I saw her, she was here, I touched her, I spoke to her. Now that she's gone, it's easier for me to talk to her with that picture in my head. No, my grandmother, she walked this earth. Whereas a Jesus who walked this earth, you didn't touch him, you didn't speak to him. It makes it difficult for you to just believe in this Jesus that they talk about in the Bible, right?
Right, I hear you. So my next question is, do musicians use witchcraft or use these potions as a good luck thing? Have you encountered any musician whereby before they go on stage they chew a plant?
Sure. No, I've never experienced that. I've never been in contact with anyone who does that. No. I've heard about, people going into cults, Illuminati, all of that to become successful as musicians. I've never seen anyone in close contact or close proximity.
Name one.
Heard about anyone that I
Name
know.
one.
No, internationally, they speak about international artists like who are part of the Illuminati. I don't know how true that is. I'm not read up on the Illuminati and whatever. And I don't know, but I've heard these rumors. As for,
I know Dr. Tumi was offered $1 million rands to join the Illuminati. I'm like, give me 1 billion, I'll join the Illuminati. Without
you.
1 billion, my man.
Dr. Tumi makes more than 1 million. Like, really, come on.
It's crazy. But anyway, let's take a quick break, and then after the break, I'm going to ask you a question, and you must answer it as honest as possible. Is that okay? Yeah, how in a little doubt.
Yeah, no. We shall see,
Okay, see you after the break.
The roads have emptied. Only us left. Kids sleeping in back. Cat's eyes shine bright, white lines roll by. The rhythm of the streetlights. Radio hums quietly. Rain starts, hypnotic wipers. Pulling. Hot latte and apple pie. Ease back into the darkness.
Over 600 McDonald's open 24 hours. We are awake.
You're listening to Vuga Online.
You are rocking with the best.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and the LGBTQI plus and the gender agnostic, everybody else that exists on this wonderful earth. Welcome to PK Unshackled, Makao Katidolo Kulmayo, and I'm chilling with Just Melo, an amazing talent, an amazing lady that's doing the most. And the topic of today is there spirituality in music and singing? So my guess is, when you write a song, Melo, something inspires you, right? Okay,
Absolutely.
so I always say, when I make a house beat, right, I go on this spiritual journey. It's not the same spirituality as, worshiping a church. Is not the same spirituality as, playing a keyboard, or the same spirituality as, slaughtering a cow or a goat to the ancestors. But it's an out of body experience, something, gets over me, and I concentrate on this moment, on this journey, and after everything is done, and you realize, wow, how did I come up with that?
Absolutely. I mean, there isn't a spiritual element to making music. And sometimes you'll find people will say, I just woke up in the middle of the night and there were these lyrics that, or there was this harmony, or there was this melody, and I just needed to get it out quickly before I forget it. So there is some sort of inspiration that comes. Sometimes you don't know where it comes from. I believe it's God sometimes who just drops something in your spirit, And of course, we know music inspires, music uplifts, music heals, music is therapeutic. So it also depends for me what state I'm in at that moment. If I sometimes write songs that I want to inspire myself and others in that moment. Sometimes I want to worship. Sometimes I need healing, so I write a song about healing. Sometimes I'm heartbroken. Sometimes I'm in love, and I want to write something about that love. So it also depends on the state I'm in. But you could find that I'm in love, but I'm inspired to write a song about healing somebody who's been heartbroken from what they thought was love. So, I believe that we are just vessels of honor as musicians, right? And that's why they say, your gift is not your own. Like, whatever gift you've been given, whether it's music or whatever it is, it's not for you, it's for those around you. So ultimately, even when you sing, even when you produce, when you play that instrument, when you get up on that stage, it's for the people. And sometimes they will take that song and interpret it the way they want it, will do whatever it needs to do to them. And that's why, even as a worship leader, yours is just to get up there and allow yourself to be used by God. And you are just the vessel of honor, and He will use you to do whatever needs to be done at that moment to those people. So somebody in that moment might have been going through whatever, and they needed you there to help them to find God, to help them to heal, to find their way, to get closer to God. Maybe they had moved away, whatever it is. But I believe that it's such a spiritual experience when you allow yourself to be used, to let go and just let God do whatever he needs to do through and with you. And that's where I am right now, that I'm just a vessel of honor to be used. I remember the story of David and Saul, and Saul was being tormented, and what happened? David just played his harp, and in that moment Saul was healed. Music, even without lyrics, just the instrument playing can do so much. That's why I even mentioned house music, because sometimes it just takes you somewhere. Like, music is too powerful. It is too powerful.
There's no music other than house music. All these other things we listen, but house music. God loves house music.
Listen to you.
but I understand when you say music is powerful. I mean, Satan was the greatest worshipper that all of creation is known. So central to our destinies is music. I understand, but it truly is powerful. Now, how powerful do you think? No, let me ask you this question first. What is the most controversial thing you have ever done?
Controversial? Okay, well, the most controversial thing, I suppose, would have been, I was a worshiper in my church and playing the piano at the same time. And then I fell pregnant at the age of 17. I think by far that has been the most controversial thing that I've ever done, because people were calling the church to confirm, hey, is it true?
But
because
how was that? Okay, so how is that controversial?
It's controversial because I'm leading the church in worship. I'm 17. I'm unmarried, and the church just felt that I'm supposed to be a virgin waiting for marriage at that time. So for them, it was like, what are you telling us, that young girl is now pregnant?
How old was Mary when she was pregnant with Jesus?
But I was not pregnant with Jesus.
No, I'm asking, how old was Mary when she was pregnant with Jesus?
I have no idea.
She was younger than 16. Was she married to Joseph?
No, she was not.
Aha. And that's a discussion for another day. But so the church would frown at you for falling pregnant at 17, but overlook the fact that Mary, the mother of Jesus, was younger than 16 when she fell pregnant with Jesus. Whether she was impregnated by the Holy Ghost or whatever, she was pregnant. So the thing is, we will not discuss that. That's one thing that I've not heard the archbishops, I've not heard anyone talk about it, but anyway, so for me, it was not controversial, because things must happen across the board. And I think if Jesus was alive, he would also say, Nami, under those circumstances, it was not right, but 1, 2, 3. Because he's a fair guy. I'd like to believe that he's a fair guy. Now, I've done many controversial things. Yeah, I've told pastors to F off. We can't lie to people anymore, Melo. We can't. And one of the biggest reasons I think that there's a seismic movement to more African spirituality is that there's a level of truth that Christianity does not have. Inenkinga zayo, but people, like you said, would like to cling on. You understand? And the singing part of it is very African. The chanting, the Tina, we listen to Hillsong and heavens open, but somebody beating a drum there is like someone, and that is us. You know, those drums there, they're us. So yeah, no. But it's quite important that people like me and you have these types of conversation, so that you know, people out there realize that, you know, if you're going to be a Christian, then you must be a firm Christian. Don't we understand? Because they get confusing at some point. You know, if you're going to go the path of African belief systems, do that. But once you start putting Jesus into the picture and go, you're confusing things. But what's important is that, you know, we're having these types of discussions, and my hope is that as a collective, you know, especially I'm not a musician. I'm an artist. I make music. I draw. I make clothes. All these things. But most of that aspect of my life is driven by some form of spirituality. I don't know how to. Maybe there's a God of creativity. Is there such a God?
No, I think there's just God, and you know, I love this narrative that we come on earth with our fists clenched as babies, right? And we need to make sure that when we leave with our hands open, having released everything that we've been given. So I believe that it does not matter where you are, there is something that has been placed in you to be released in whichever part of the world that you're in whichever space that you're in. You need to release it. And you might find that you're a nurse and it gives you such joy. You're a policeman, you're a teacher, you are a painter, you are an artist. Whatever it is, it gives you joy, it ignites your soul, because that is what you were created to do. That is your gift. So I don't believe there's a God of creativity. I believe that everyone, when they're doing whatever it is that they're doing, they have ascended their stage, right? I interviewed Zoe Mudicha, and you know, she said that no one is created to be on the sideline giving a round of applause to others, you know, and I added to say at one point you're going to also have to ascend your particular stage, and your stage could be being a full-time mother, right? And propelling and preparing your children to take on the world and go in their different paths, because that's what you were created to do. It could be being in the office, being a lawyer, whatever it is, that is your stage. Ascend it and do what you need to. Don't be afraid. It's scary, and I love the fact that she used the stage, because going up on a stage for anything is a scary experience. Doesn't matter how many times you've done it, right? So sometimes that which you were created to do scares you, and you'd rather just stay in a little corner doing something else, because that is not as challenging, but you know deep down what it is that you were created to do. So feel the fear and do it anyway. Ascend that stage and do that which you were created to do.
I love the word ascend. I'm going to use it a lot. Love it, love it. Love it, love it. Okay, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and complete the show. So see you after the break.
If you're enjoying this interruption and find the sound of my voice captivating, you may be experiencing extreme boredom.
Try new, fast-acting Subaru Impreza in hatch or sedan. Formulated with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Cure boredom fast with new Impreza.
Look for Starbucks coffee in a grocery store near you, then sit back and enjoy the exceptional taste of Starbucks at home.
Simply the best.
Welcome back to the last segment of PK Unshackled radio show. We've had a great morning with just Melo talking about everything, right? And you're such a breath of fresh air, you know. Beside the fact that you're an amazing singer, check it out. So where can people actually find you or hear your music? Or
Well, they can find my music on digital music platforms. It's Melo Mthet. On Instagram, it's at _official_Melo on Instagram and Twitter. On Facebook, it's Melo Music. And there's clips there as well. There's also music on YouTube, Melo Mthet. And of course, they can tune in Mondays to Friday on www.radiobop.co.za to catch me on the Melo Drive, 3 to 6 p.m. And I think I've mentioned everything.
Okay, that's good. So, Melo, in closing, what words of wisdom or inspiration would you like to say to the VUCA online radio listeners, especially after the discussion that we had and the topic that we had?
I think I've pretty much said a mouthful.
Please don't quote a scripture.
Why would you assume that I would want to quote a scripture?
Because we're talking about David and Saul. Now you're going to talk about Solomon and his 700 concubines.
Anywho, I think I've said a mouthful when it comes to music and spirituality. Oh man, firstly, I'm so blessed and honored to have been chosen as one of the many people who gets to be a part of creating music, right? For me, I think it's such a privilege and such an honor. And I believe that if you have not found that which ignites your soul, then go out and find it. Because they say if you do that which you love, you'll never work a day in your life. For me, that is definitely it. I found everything that I love doing, and it does not feel like work at all. I can sit up all night doing this, doing radio, writing, speaking, whatever it is. I can do it until the morning. I can even stay 2 days without sleeping because it ignites my soul. And I don't think it's just music that has a spiritual connection. I believe that whatever your gift is has that spiritual connection, because you find that if you are gifted in it, right, you'll leave some sort of impact. You'll make a mark in someone's life when you do that. Have you had that experience where even if it was a cashier at a particular shop and you never forget that experience that they gave you, just the smile, the conversation, packing your groceries, and it was like such a joy because in that moment that's where they needed to be. So I pray and hope that you find where you need to be in this moment, because it's not for you, it's for us.
Oh, that is so awesome. And you must ascend that stage.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no. Okay, Melo, thank you very much for joining us. Like I said, you're such an amazing person, and I hope we have our jam session soon, because we thoroughly enjoyed the last one. You're an amazing person, you're an amazing singer, and we pray the gods of creativity, or your God, to abundantly bless you. Thank you to all the VUCA online radio listeners. This is Makau Katide saying adios. Stay tuned for some jazz. I also listen to jazz, by the way, because I'm doing this radio show. So yeah, jazz is in my blood now. But thank you very, very much, Melo, and have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye-bye.
The more someone makes you think about your body, the harder it becomes to ignore. Your tongue, for example. Usually you hardly notice it's there. But when I mention it, you can feel your tongue bumping against your lower front teeth, the tips just resting on them. You notice your tongue feels just a little too long for your mouth, and you notice it never really lies still. You move it about constantly, without thinking about it, backwards and forwards, and from side to side. Suddenly it feels strangely wet and heavy in your mouth, doesn't it? A few seconds ago, you hardly noticed your tongue, but just one message ensured that you can't stop thinking about it. Now imagine the hundreds of messages girls are exposed to every day, subtly changing the way they think about their bodies. See how you can help with the Dove Self-Esteem Project at selfesteem.dove.co.uk.
Simply the best.
Don't take credit. Unexpected coming from a bank. But just think about it. Using credit to finance a flashy lifestyle to show that you've arrived won't help you live better. What's new today is old tomorrow, except for the debt that you still have to pay. But do take credit to renovate your home, buy a more reliable car, or pay for your children's education. If that's your goal, then Capitec will help you realize your dreams. Because living better starts when you get credit for the right reasons.
The Africa Center for Work-Based Learning is a professional development center for professionals who aim to improve their professional standing. This means that the learning programs we run are more than just academic programs. They are work-based programs that focus on leveraging